Hey you guys, it's me Kianna coming at you yet again today. And this is the first video I'm doing. Actually it's the second video. The first was just basically saying good morning to you guys. Basically I wanted to do this video because I just got yet another message, PM actually. And someone was saying, how do I always maintain myself a certain kind of way? How do I always maintain my home? How am I able to run a business? How am I able to do all these videos? How am I able to do my hair early in the morning, my makeup early in the morning? Just be on point all the time. And these are just basically some tips that I use. And I'm going to show you guys because they basically, everybody has been giving me messages because they want me to basically do a live walkthrough of my life. And because we're limited to the time that we have as far as increments on YouTube, if it was another venue where I could just show the whole day non-stop, I would love to do something like that, like documentary style. I would love to. But to break it up in increments at 15-minute intervals and stuff like that, it's kind of difficult to do. And it also is kind of dragging along. And can you imagine in maybe a 18-hour period, how many 15-minute videos I would have to do? So it's kind of difficult to do that. Again, if it was any other venue that I could do that on, then sure I would. But what I'm going to do, the best thing I can do is basically walk you through myself right now, talking you through it. And hopefully this will maybe help you in some ways. Maybe it can give you a different way of viewing some things, a different way of maybe juggling your own schedule. It just gives you a little bit more insight on my life or my daily life living as Kianna. So, these are the things that I do, and this is how I'm able to maintain all the things. I got a lot of slacks last time I mentioned this about a couple of months ago, and I made a comment, and this is just how I not only was raised, but this is something that biblically I've taken from the Word, and I think the Bible gives us wonderful characteristics that women and men should have, and it's kind of a blueprint of what you need to be or what you need to aspire to be, how to improve yourself. And if you take the characteristics and take the pure origin of why these things are so, then you can develop into the person that you always wanted to be, and not only that you wanted to be, but the person that God has destined you to be. So with that being said, a lot of the things that I do is based on biblically. We're not perfect people, and I am far from perfect, but I aim to please God in every little detail. And it can be the smallest thing. It can be maybe me overlooking the fact that my husband got drunk last night. It could be, and that's just real talk. You understand what I'm saying? So it could be something like that, or it could be me taming my tongue about some things, or me, if I lay somebody out on YouTube, me making sure I don't just keep going on and dwelling on it, but rather just block the person and move on. So it's ways that I try to, and the key word is try to, as much as possible, implement certain characteristics and certain goals, and be the woman that I am destined to be in all aspects. Now, so that's the first key. I think that you should read your Bible, and it will give you again a blueprint of the things that you should do as a woman. And this goes for men as well, because men that struggle with knowing who they are, men who struggle with not knowing exactly what a man actually consists of, men who struggle with not having a father and having that definition defined to them of what a man is. And the Bible, again, is a great blueprint to start and to build off of, as far as knowing who you are and who you are supposed to be and who you belong to, truly. Now, my days consist of being a team in my home. Although I am old-fashioned in many ways, you all know, I do believe in having a team. It's kind of like I almost expect it to be a team, and if it's not, then why are you here? I'm just being real right now. I can't have a man that does not pitch in. I can't have a man that does not give a lot of themselves. I just can't. And if he winds up, if he's like that, then he has to improve in those areas, or there will be problems. You know, it's an old saying that they say that if mama not happy, nobody's happy. And that's really, if you really think about it, if the woman of the home is not happy, then a lot of things wind up not being happy. And that's in all aspects. So it's kind of like women, we have to understand that we are the CEO of our home. We are the backbone of our home. And although we are supposed to be the helpmate of our husbands, it's impossible for a home to be ran without the mother. It's impossible for a home to be ran in the way that it's intended. That, let me say that, without a strong woman. Because if you remember, even biblically, the women in the Bible were strong women. They were not weak women. And when a person talks about being subservient to their husband, they don't understand that being subservient doesn't mean that you're weak. In fact, you actually can catch more flies. Y'all already know the saying. So, being subservient to your husband is just honoring him in a way, but yet you're still maintaining who you are. You're honoring him, and because you're honoring him, he too will honor you. So it's just a natural process. You know the saying that do unto others as others do unto you. And if someone is showering you with love, and showering you with respect, and showering you with admiration, then it only is natural, if the person truly loves you, that they would do the same back to you, even if it's not intentional, even if it's not something that they planned out doing. It just happens. So, okay, a day, and this probably will be 2 videos evidently, a day of Kianna. Because it is teamwork, and my mornings usually are, they start early because I have, as I said, I caught a little slack because I have a saying that goes, the woman in the home should be the first one to wake up and the last to lay her head on the pillow. And I believe this is because we have to run a home a certain way in order for things to get done. You can't be that type of woman that just lays around sleeping all day, letting your kids run around looking crazy, you know, because things fall through the cracks when you're like that. That's not a good woman. It's just not. It's not a good woman, and it's quite tacky and trifling, to be honest. I knew a woman, and I'm not going to say no names, but I knew a lady that actually thought she was a good mother, and she would lock herself up in the room with her man and every morning and let the kids run around. And I'm talking about she had kids, even little young kids, and they would run around the house and do whatever they wanted, and she would be laid up sleeping like some log, lazy log, up in the bed with the door closed where her man sleep. Yeah. And she actually could hold her head up high. And these type of women I don't understand. I really don't. And when it's all said and done, you have to question, when you are ready to be with our Lord, have you really done all that you needed to do, or have you really done all that you should have done that was within your power to be good at what you're doing, being a good mother, being a good servant, being a good wife. Really, you have to question yourself. And every day, I strive to do better at whatever I am. Whether that's being a mother, whether that's being a daughter, whether that's being a wife, whether that's being a sister. So, because I had this mindset, it lines everything up, you guys, for me. And I'm telling you that if you try to incorporate some of these things in your life, it will organize you in a such way that it won't be too overbearing for you. It won't be too much of a hassle. You won't be extremely exhausted. But yet things will get done, and they will get done the right way. What I do in the morning, actually, Chuck usually takes the baby in the morning for me. And because Chuck loves the fact that I keep myself up, what he does is to make sure that Mama can do that, is he does take the baby in the morning. So from anywhere between, even though Pootie wakes up at 6:30 in the morning, yes, Pootie wakes up at 6:30 in the morning. My daddy gets up at like 6:30 in the morning, and he gets up and has the baby until around about 9:30. So he feeds the baby breakfast. He sometimes, most of the time, cooks my breakfast. He cooks his breakfast. He looks at, during this time while the baby's watching Sesame Street and stuff, he looks over the log and see if we have any fairs that day. He looks over the log to see if I've updated contracts and stuff like that, or if I had to put some new information. And sometimes we keep that on a booklet on top of the refrigerator. So he goes over that. He has his breakfast. Now during this time, I'm waking up around 7, maybe a half an hour after Pootie wakes up. So I'm finally getting up out of bed around 7. So from 7 to like 7:45, I go ahead and wash and, do my skincare. As far as, I don't have to do much, I just do Noxzema. And then I head back to the room. Mind you, the door is closed so that I can have some privacy, so that I can do the things that I want to do for myself. And that is considered me time. Because my me time is so early, I'm able to do this. Now, most people would be sleeping in. Most people would be sipping on coffee. Most people will be sipping on tea. Maybe watching a few TV shows or whatever. But my time that I use to do this is what somebody else would use to do something else. So, I don't sip on coffee. I don't sip on tea. I don't watch any TV or anything like that in the morning. Instead, I would rather spend my time getting myself together, as far as doing my makeup, my hair, laying my clothes out and things like that, accessorizing and all that. So, I just think that people just need to be more wiser with their time. Again, maybe you would sip on coffee, but as for me, I would rather put my makeup on and be looking cute all day, where somebody else didn't sip on some coffee and they'd wasted that time sipping on the coffee, and now they have to look the way they look all day. So that's just my opinion. That's what I did. After that, once I've already did my makeup and my hair, it's around about 9:30, about 9:30. So that's when I head on out of the room. Now, most people wake up at 9 or 9:30, but as you can see, I've already done about 2 hours worth of starting my day. So that's why I said most of the time you have to start early and be wiser with your time, and also make sure you have teamwork. Again, Daddy likes the fact that I keep myself up, so he has no problem doing this so that he can ensure that I look cute all day long. So that's how it usually works. And it's an unspoken thing in our household, but I know that's how he feels, because it's quite evident in his actions. Now, I'm going to do a part 2 to this video because I think a lot of people was interested in the actual schedule part. So I'm going to tell you what I do when I come outside of the room looking nice and cute and all done up. So, I love you all so much. Be blessed.